Hey guys, thank you guys so much for joining me here on YouTube. And now it's time to get, drumroll, back to the questions. So I'm just like, I've got the questions from you guys or comments on my cell phone, and let's get straight to it. How do you think about to see yourself, say, 5 years from now? And do you have any plan to tour India in the future? So 5 years from now, I hope to have at least one album completed and to do a little touring. That's my dream. Just keep doing what I'm doing because I love making music. I love doing music videos on YouTube, and I love traveling as well. So that would be awesome. That was Marcus D'Souza, that first question. Tim Windsor said, awesome video, Emily. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. I have 2 questions for you. What is your favorite guitar brand? So my favorite guitar brand, I don't have just one. I have 3 that I really love. Wild Audio Guitars, which is a brand line from Zakk Wylde. Then Gibson Guitars, because one of my favorite guitars is a Gibson Les Paul custom shop. And then the 3rd one is Jackson Guitars. I'm a huge fan of Jackson Guitars as well. What hobbies do you enjoy besides playing the guitar? So besides playing the guitar, I'm very outdoorsy. I love nature. I like taking photos as well, which is why like on Instagram I have a lot of photos because I'm a fan of photography. Yeah, and I also like to just chill out and watch movies. Binge watching movies is one of my favorite things to do. It's so relaxing. Then I got a question from Gianfranco, and he wanted to know where he can find my album. So my album is not ready yet. I'm still working on it. It is a long time coming, but I really hope to have it finished by the end of this year. Keep your fingers crossed. Really hope that that happens. And then Albert Dominic said, how old were you when you started playing the guitar? So I started playing acoustic first. I played it for like 2 years sooner than I played electric guitar. I actually really didn't get into electric until I was 18 years old. I was playing acoustic 2 years prior to that. And yeah, then it just became like, you know, switching on and off between electric and acoustic. I was a late bloomer. I didn't get started till later. A lot of people start playing when they're 8, 7, you know, 12. For me, it was later in my life. David Willett, he said, my questions are, what is your favorite of your original songs? And which is your favorite cover? So of my original songs, my favorite is Desert Road. I love that song. I'm very happy that I came up with the melody. I love the bass line as well. I did all of it. I did the instrumentations. I did the drums. I did the bass. I filmed it all. And yeah, one-man band, one-woman band. And then he said, what is your favorite cover? Geez, that's a great question that I have not for some time thought about my favorite covers. So let me go to my own YouTube channel and look through my videos. Oh, Probably Love You to Death by Typo Negative, just because that was so much fun. So much fun to film that video. So yeah, that's one of my favorite covers. Then I got a question from Bob Sternvogel, and he said, hope you have a great day, Emily. What was your inspiration for Save Some Room for Later? Well, thank you. I hope you have a great day as well. So my song, Save Some Room for Later, this is gonna be funny. I don't know if any of you guys are fans of Willy Wonka, but I am. And there's a scene in the movie where the mother says to her son, Augustus, and she's like, save some room for later, Augustus. And that resonated with me because when I was little, I used to, you know, kind of eat like that. But it's metaphoric as well, like save some room for later. Save some for later. Like, don't put everything out there. Like, save a little bit to yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes less is more. That kind of thing. So that is the idea of the song. It's not so much like literally save some for later. It's metaphorically save some for later. Like, always keep a little something to yourself. Don't put it out there until it's ready or until, you know, till you want to put it out there. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me. So Stuart Rawson said, Emily, you're an amazing guitarist. Love your new song. Have you always wanted to be a musician? I have not always wanted to be a musician, but it's something that just happened. I come from a family of musicians. My mom was a fantastic guitarist and singer, and she was in a band, and it resonated with me, and here I am, a guitarist as well. So the House of Ronan said, hey Emily, looking forward to your new Q&A. My question for you is, how long did it take you to complete your last original song, and what was your inspiration? Well, I already touched on my inspiration, but I also will say how long it took me to complete it. So right after I finished Desert Road, I was like, next, I'm ready for the next. So I came up with the riff probably at the end of November or the beginning of December, and I had that title in mind in the very beginning. But then I tried to change it with vocals, to try to add vocals, and that's when I thought I had an idea of save it for later. Save it for later. Like when you get in an argument, you're like, save it. But then I went back to my original idea of save some room for later, because that was the original title that I had in mind. And the lyrics did not work out. So yeah, I tried it with lyrics, did not work out. But I'm just so happy to finally have that song done, because it's been a few months in planning, so it's not been a really long time. I have had songs that I have shelved for a very long time, but you were finally here on my album, so thank you guys for your patience. Dave Broader, he has a question as well. He said, how did you get started in music? What brought you to love rock and roll music so much? You're a phenomenal guitar player and singer. You have a lot of influences. What's your main drive to get you where you want to be in rock music? Wow, absolutely, like, incredible question. Thank you for that. So I got started in music at a very young age, but I didn't play the guitar till later. But I was in a singing group with my sisters, and I also did a lot of musical theater. I grew up in a household of music. Like I said, my mom was a musician as well. And yeah, it gravitated very naturally from that. You know, picked up guitar one day, and I've been playing ever since. I will say though, in that musical time, you know, my musical journey, there have been times where I haven't had much time to play, but I always have continued playing. But there have been some times where I've had hurdles, whether I was too busy and I was doing something else that was non-related music-wise, and I had to pick it back up, and it was more difficult. So if you are going through that, you know, don't give up. Keep at it, because I've had that happen to me as well. So and then he said, you have a lot of influences. So I talk about my influences all the time, so I won't bore you guys with that. But he said, what's your main drive to get you where you want to be in rock music? My main drive is just like the love for the music, the passion for the music. Like one of my other favorite things to do is just listening to music. Like I put on a CD and I listen to it, or I'm driving in the car and I'm listening to music and I'm like, oh, I'm so pumped. So that's my drive, like the love of the music. And I feel like any musician who's really into the music, like they stay true to themselves. It makes you stay true to what you really are passionate about. And Arthur Nowick said, how long did it take you to compose this song, from the idea in your head to the final song? Well, I already touched on that. It's a great question. Thank you so much for it, Arthur. So he had a question whether I use non-typical instruments like banjo or sitar to create a more exotic atmosphere. And this is a great idea. However, I do not have a banjo, and I do not have a sitar. I would love to create some exotic sounds, so that's something that I definitely have in mind. I would love to, I don't know how to play mandolin, but like adding some mandolin, I'm sure that I could learn how to do it, play around with that, so that would be cool. And also like add some exotic sounding drums and things like that. I definitely want to do that, so great question. Pat Kerr said, hi Emily, how's your album progressing? So you guys, I have a lot more to do. I'm just really hoping it can be done this year. Like whether it's like the very last day of this year, as long as it's done this year, but I just know how it is. I'm doing everything myself, so it's a lot of work, a lot of time for me to do, you know, set aside. So those are the end of the questions, you guys. Thank you so much. If you have any more, leave them below in the comments and I will get back to you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for supporting me for all this time, and I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.